Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Welcome to another edition of Inter News, 20th of October. It felt like Inter haven't played for a while because the matches were back to back every 3-4 days. This time round, there's actually a 1 week break. It's actually quite nice because football, Inter, it was getting all a bit a bit too much, I guess. So it's nice that we had this little 1 week break, but then afterwards we will return to a busy ass schedule up until the World Cup. And I don't know, as Italy fans, I don't know what we're going to do with ourselves, apart from obviously watching the World Cup as spectators. But anyway, today's edition, we're going to be covering Inter's new third kit is finally out, Lukaku news, Beppe Marotta speaking on Skriniar, and anything else to cover off. So let's go. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe before we get started. Let's go, guys. So let's start off with the third kit. I mean, 20th of October, the group stages of the Champions League are almost over, and Inter finally have released a third kit, and it is pretty much what we were expecting in terms of the leaks that we saw. Bright yellow kit, and guys, just like the other two kits from this year, I really like it. This one is a lot more simpler, especially compared to the second kit this season. Is very much simple pattern. Doesn't really isn't a pattern apart from the embedded pattern that you can see, like almost against kind of a snake skin, or is it the world map underneath? It's quite hard to make out, but there's something there. But very simple, minimalistic. I like it. And obviously the sponsor thing was still ongoing, guys. It looks like Digital Bits will be removed as the main sponsor of Inter. Absolute embarrassing saga of Digital Bits. They haven't, according to rumors, they've only paid like one part of the actual payment that they needed to be making. And Inter's legal team, lawyers, are working on resolving the contract situation with them. We probably are still in the end going to get our money through tribunals or getting through legal means. But for the moment, it looks like Inter will step away. After the World Cup, it looks like most likely that Inter will find a new main sponsor. Of course, I have no idea who it is, but for the moment they are still there. Digital Bits, still a nice looking logo, but definitely not a logo I want to rep right now. Here are Skriniar, Di Marco and Hakan repping it really nicely. Always, when the players repping it, they always take it up a notch. The little aqua blue collar plus black, I like that little color addition as well. Again, I don't like the placement of the Coppa Italia patch, just like the other kits, but it is what it is. It clearly is some sort of Nike template that we cannot change. With the style, the imagery, the videos they've released, look at that, very much youthful. They're clearly going for the younger audience. It looks like it's been shot in London, this video, so in the ends I can definitely recognize London in the background of this. But you can see Inter are trying to appeal to a younger audience here. The kit, just like the home and away strips, is made by Nike with Nike's Move to Zero initiative. Made of alternative materials produced with low carbon emissions, which is always nice to hear. The shorts and socks will also be yellow on the inside of the collar. The inscription Milano will be there. I think it's the same thing on the home and away. And again, you can see here the third kit ties in with the Gen Z community in a blend of sport and fashion. Launch is amplified by the collaboration of One Block Down, the most important streetwear exhibit in Milan. And we can see that here. Some of the photography and imagery they've done with One Block Down, much more of a streetwear vibe. Again, very youthful vibe, good imagery. I like the aesthetics, the vibes that they're going for. And you're definitely going to be standing out wearing this kit. It looks like it might even glow in the dark. So I haven't decided whether I am buying this or not, but as I said, I really like it. And once again, I think I gave the home kit, was it like 7.5 or 8 out of 10? The away kit, 8 out of 10. I think this is another 8 out of 10 kit. And it really reminds me of, in terms of inspiration, I think they clearly went for this 2002, 2003 kit, back in the Adriano Vieri days. Can remember those boys rocking it. This was a nice kit, although I didn't really like the color too much here. There used to be this one as well, 03, 04. Yellow, those were nice as well. But more recent ones, you'll probably remember Mancini era, Brozovic, Telles, Guarin, Felipe Melo, they're rocking, of course. Icardi, rocking a Ljajic back in those days. So yeah, that was more. That seems like a more lime green thing. This is the one now. It's definitely more yellow, but stands out definitely. I don't know. I think I'm probably. I think I might get the. I think the away kit, because the away kit, the Brothers of the World, the map. I think I might have to get that one. I don't think I'm gonna get all three. They're so expensive as well. So I think I'm gonna get the home. I've got the home and I get the away one. Third kit I might have to leave out. Yeah, you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you rate Inter's new third kit? And I believe and I hope it should be debuted against Victoria Pilsen in the Champions League, because the third kit usually is used in the majority of times in the cup competition. So Coppa Italia, Champions League. Hopefully we see this being rocked a bit more often. And we saw last year, our third kit was bringing us good luck. If you remember the black kit with the multicolors scheme, we used to win quite a bit with that kit. So maybe this kit we get some good luck, but let's see. Anyway, let's move on to other news relating to the players that will be wearing the kits, and whether this player is he going to be wearing an Inter kit even after January or next season, which is obviously my captain, il mio capitano Milan Skriniar. Beppe Marotta spoke on the Skriniar situation just a few days ago. He was asked about it. What's the situation on the Skriniar contract extension? And here are his words to Tutto Mercato Web, and as usual, translated by sempreinter.com. So here are his quotes. We're confident, even if clearly a lot depends on what he intends. But in my role, I have to be optimistic, he added. And then obviously he talked slightly, just quickly, about the sale of the Inter in general. He says, this is a situation above my pay grade. I can only say that the owners are very close to the team and the club, and then they've always fulfilled their financial obligations. I have to point out that the Zhang family have given hundreds of millions of euros to the directors to work with. And yeah, but actually this interview is a shorter version, but there was a different interview where Marotta talked about that in a week or in 2 weeks, they will begin officially the contract negotiations with Skriniar. They will, contact his agent. They will sit down. They will put an offer on the table, which is rumored to be around, the 6.5 million net mark, which would make him, aside of Lukaku, who is, on loan, it would put him next to Marcelo Brozovic as in Lautaro as like one of the, top paid players in this team, which of course he absolutely deserves. Whether he accepts that, we don't know, guys. As I said, obviously PSG, the reported rumor was that they offered him 8-9 million net, which we cannot get anywhere near. Even if we had super rich owners in Serie A, you're not going to get that type of money at the moment. So hopefully, as you guys know, he's my favorite player in this Inter team, Skriniar. I hope he does renew. I hope he doesn't get tempted by the PSG money, but again, at the same time, I can't really blame him. I hope we don't sell him in January. Definitely don't hope he doesn't leave for free at the end of the season. And I hope his, willingness to stay is gonna be what seals the deal, and he accepts the contract negotiation. But you guys let me know in the thoughts below. Is he going to renew? What's your prediction? I know what everyone wants. I think most people would want him to renew, but what's your prediction? Is he going to renew? Are we going to sell him in January? And how much for, if so? Or is he just going to reject this and leave at the end of the season and get his big payday as a free transfer? Let me know. Now, let's move on to some good news about Big Rom Lukaku. He is back in training with the group. Here he is, pictures courtesy of Daniele Mari. He undertook team training finally. He hasn't done any part of team training up until now. I think he's missed it for over 50 days, but he did part of the training. So he did the athletic part of the training. As here's the tweet, let me just translate it for you guys. Lukaku did the athletic part with the group, then broke away and continued with the custom, or the specific personalized work for him during the tactical part of the team. So therefore, even though he is back, the feeling is that he won't be called up for Firenze, for Florence, for the Fiorentina game. Again, his return to the actual playing or seeing him in the Inter shirt is continue to be delayed, but he's finally part of the group, guys. We can stop complaining about where is this guy, what happened. I mean, all these conspiracy theories I've been hearing about this guy, he's doing this, he's saving himself for that. I know, guys, it has been very frustrating. He was our star signing of the summer. I understand we've been, very frustrated with this injury, and it looks like, actually, I thought this injury happened against Lazio, but actually Alessandro Cavazzini, who is the one of the head editors for FC Internews, one of the best sources for Internews, I watched his video, and he said that actually he injured himself a few days after the Lazio game, because I just assumed he was subbed in the Lazio game because of the injury, but actually he wasn't. He injured himself in training. So but the club, obviously, they never talked about this, as some people say we would need more clarification. The club never really specified how bad the injury was, or whether he re-aggravated it, which was my theory. But it seems like, from what Cavazzini said, it wasn't any re-aggravation or anything. It was just that's just how long the injury took, and they were obviously extra cautious with him, because obviously they don't want to risk anything with Lukaku. But obviously we can't wait to see him back on the pitch. So it looks like it won't be Fiorentina now. Now we'll be on to the Victoria Pilsen game, and it's definitely not going to be starting against Victoria Pilsen. So it's probably going to be just a substitute appearance. So we have to wait. Maybe even not the game after that. Maybe Bayern Munich away is potentially the game that we might see him starting. But again, I don't want to do any predictions now. We've seen how many times it's got delayed. I'm just going to wait and see when this guy starts again. And finally, the last news I want to look at is relating to Nicolo Barella and the Gran Gala del Calcio, which is Serie A, or Italy's equivalent of the Ballon d'Or night. And for some reason they host it on the same night as the Ballon d'Or, which is awful planning by whoever organizes it. But as you can see, Nicolo Barella received an award there, but also one of our Inter women players, Simonetti, received an award at this Gran Gala del Calcio. Barella made it into the top 11 of they pick the best 11 from last season, and they give awards to the players, and he spoke about this. And this is actually his 4th year in a row, Barella receiving this award, which shows the consistency of this player. As much as we sometimes get frustrated with him, but he is, as probably one of my top 3 favorite players in this Inter team. But we just know that on his day, this guy can be one of the best in the world, complete midfielder. But it shows his level of consistency in Serie A, that he won this even when he was at Cagliari. As he says here, I'm very happy to have received this award with 2 different teams, Cagliari and Inter, because it means that the work I'm doing is helping the team and my teammates. That's the most important thing. Brozovic was also, he also made it into this team, but he wasn't there. He was asked about him. He's a really nice guy. He likes to have fun, and he's a calm, relaxing influence around the dressing rooms. I don't know about relaxing, but he also works hard, which we know. We link up a lot, and we created something special. Yeah, I think he's underselling it there. We link up a lot. You guys are basically bum chums. You are the bromance of this Inter team. We hope it continues to flourish and we can win again in the future. So do we, Nicolo. So do we. And here he is pictured with, I think, his former teammate, isn't it? Biondini there. I recognize the ginger hair. And also shout out to Simonetti, who received the award for the women's team. And actually the top 11 is pretty much, if you guys remember, at the end of last season, I made a video called my, best 11 from the Serie A last season, and it's pretty much spot on, to be fair. Is spot on, as I would say, because it's pretty much the same as the team I picked. They picked Lafroleao as the best player, of course, as he was the MVP. Best goalkeeper Magnan, of course. Best team Milan, as much as we hate to admit it and say it. True. Best coach Stefano Pioli, 100%. Best referee Orsato, no comment. I don't even know who I would give that to. Gatti won best young player in Serie B, even though the guy is 24 years old, so I don't really get that one. But yeah, here he is, the top 11 men: Magnan, Di Lorenzo, Tomori, Brema, Theo Hernandez, SMS, Brozovic, Barella, Leao, Immobile, Vlahovic. So only 2 Inter players made it into the top 11. So the only ones my one was a 3-5-2, and I had Perisic on the right just to fit him in, because obviously he was Inter's player of the season, so I had to fit him in over Di Lorenzo. And then up front I think I went for Leao and Immobile rather than Leao, Immobile, Vlahovic, which was, so only 2 differences. So I think it's fair. The other guys, obviously, that could have made it from Inter were obviously Skriniar at the back, but just as in my one, it was hard to fit him in because Bremer had such a individually great season for Torino, and then Tomori was part of the best defense in the league, so it had to be one of the centre backs. But yeah, hopefully by the end of this season, at least 3 Inter players will make it. They'll have to work hard though. After our Inter start, they're gonna have to work hard to make it into this team. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments below, what did you make of the Gran Gala del Calcio team? Do you agree with it, disagree with it, and everything else that we talked about today? Hope you enjoyed this news episode. Ciao ragazzi, always Forza Inter, and leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel before you leave. Ciao ciao.